Master of Business in ERP System, and today I have a guest with me, and whom I'm following and whom I'm checking out what he's doing, and I've been waiting for him to talk to me. So can you please tell others who are you and what you do in the SAP field?
Yeah. Hi, Angad. My name is Josh Fletcher. I live in Perth, Western Australia, and I work for a company called ASG Group as an SAP BI architect, and I'm also one of the SAP mentors in the current group.
Oh, good, thank you. In this with this company, you basically as you said, you are architect, a BI architect. So you implement solutions, or you do the in-house?
Yeah, no. So we're a consulting company and a partner of SAP. So we sell SAP software and implement the solutions and support it as well. So my work involves helping with the design of the solutions, managing the implementations with other and other consultants doing work as well. And I also sometimes get involved in the support work too.
Well, that must be fun.
Yeah, it's nice and diverse. We also do training for SAP too. So I'm doing a bit more training for SAP as well at the moment.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. From the training, I just have a question for you. I started this because I'm doing my master's from Victoria. So I did this subject called Business Intelligence in Victoria University, and truly speaking, until the end of the subject, I was thinking just the BI is only the business warehouse and the business objects explorer. It's because they teach you the business warehouse, how to create a cube in there, info cube, and then get the data in a business objects explorer. But since then, I have gone to the SAP websites and have seen different tools. But I always get confused with all the division of these tools. So can you explain me what is business intelligence and why these are broken in a different, or maybe I should say divided into the different fields, and what is BI platform?
Not a problem. So some of it's historical and has to do with SAP developing their own solution, and then they also acquired Business Objects, which brought them some duplicate capabilities in their solutions. So if you look at the traditional SAP Business Intelligence Platform or SAP BI, that is the business warehouse, which is SAP's enterprise data warehouse, which is OLAP based.
OLAP based,
so cubes. And BW is quite special in that it combines a lot of different capabilities into the one platform. So you probably know it's built on NetWeaver, but it lets you do ETL, both from SAP and non-SAP data sources. It lets you build your cubes and a dimensional model before you even get to your cubes.
Yes, right.
It then lets you build a semantic layer on top of those cubes, which is the BEX query. And then it also included, BEX Analyzer, BEX Reporter, a lot of different reporting and analysis solutions that were all part of SAP BW. So that's the traditional SAP BI solution and their BI platform up until a few years ago. It's probably 5 or 6 years ago now when they acquired Business Objects. And Business Objects was only a business intelligence company. That's all they did. So Business Objects had their own BI platform, which is called Business Objects Enterprise. And it was a Java and .NET platform. It ran in both versions at the time, and it included tools like Web Intelligence and Crystal Reports, and a tool that's now been phased out called Desktop Intelligence. Desky, that's it. And SAP acquired Business Objects specifically for their best-of-breed business intelligence capability.
Cool. All right.
And also because it was heterogeneous in that it talked to any data source. The SAP integration was okay, but not great, and that's something that they've been working on for the last several years as well.
So when we say it's a SAP BI and they acquire the business objects, And then with the business objects, they brought all those BI tools into the SAP BI, like Crystal Reports, Dashboard Designer, Desky, and then Web Intelligence, all that. So say I installed a BI platform, Edge Edition, on my computer, or sorry, in my virtual environment. So with that platform, have I installed because I just did it 2 days ago and I don't understand, but have I installed all the tools with it, or I have to install the tools separately, the rich client separately on a desktop?
Yes.
Okay. So that.
Yeah. So
Yep.
Business Objects Edge is effectively a mid-market version of Business Objects Enterprise. It's the same code base and it does the same thing. It's just limited to run on one server instead of a clustered environment. But you have support there to build web intelligence reports via the web and to run and view Crystal reports and dashboards. But to build Crystal reports or develop them and to develop dashboards, you need a rich client tool to be installed as well. The web intelligence rich client is optional. You don't need it because you can build the reports via the web. And then the other thing you'll need to install is the client tools to let you build the universe, the semantic layer for business objects.
Okay.
So if you're going to be building universes, you'll need that.
All right, cool. So and then you can use those universe with the different tools, other tools as well.
Yeah, all the tools will talk to the same universe. Yeah.
Cool. That's great. Okay, so well, I have worked with Crystal Reports and dashboard design. So if I say, just like for the business point of view, can the businesses, if they say we need to do reporting, we need to create a dashboards, from a business point of view, do they really need a whole platform, or they just can have a Crystal Reports or the dashboard, like just to create the reporting and the visual dashboards? Or what's a benefit for the businesses to have a whole platform together, whole BI together?
So there's a couple of points I can make there. First of all, tools like Crystal Reports especially are much more report development tools, and they require more of an IT background. So business people might struggle to develop Crystal Reports, for instance. Something like web intelligence, they will be able to learn and use. But then there's tools like Explorer, which you've used as well, which is much more of a self-service tool, and you don't really need any IT skills at all. Even something like web intelligence, you need to be reasonably savvy with working with information. You probably need to be quite proficient at Excel, for example, to transition to web intelligence well. But something like Explorer is completely business friendly. So that'd be my first point is one, if you just had a Crystal Reports tool, then you can build some reports, but you'd have to write SQL to do it. You'd have to understand, querying databases, and it'd be you'd need some IT skills there. But the second thing you get with a platform is the robustness around managing your business intelligence solution. So things like security, integration with your authentication within your organization. So Active Directory. So being able to identify and authenticate you as a particular person and giving you access to certain business content but not others. And we do that via the universe, and also for the reports and dashboards and analytics, that they all sit within certain folders within the system, and you give access to different parts. Also, the ability to automate the refreshing and distribution of those reports and dashboards. So Business Objects also provides that as part of the platform. So even to the point where you can execute, or you can have a publication set up in the platform, which allows you to run one report once against a data set, and then effectively split that report up into multiple parts or multiple copies of the report that are then personalized to each recipient. So I run a particular store, so I get that one report that only has my store's data. But then that's also sent to another, 500 store managers who also get the exact same report. It's only been run once, but they all have their own store's data in that one report. So something like that is very difficult, to build if you don't have that kind of platform to help you do it.
Well, okay. That's I just clicked something wrong. No, that's very good explanation. So it's basically clearing my mind. And I must tell you
Great.
that I went to this. Thanks for that. I went to this BO Devs meetup in Melbourne. It's a business object developers meetup, and it was organized by David McCamis, I think. Yeah,
Yep.
and he's a very good presenter, and he explained the new BI 4.1 in detail, or I should say brief, what is changing and what it's bringing. So, are you excited with all the features which is coming with it, or like, and how they're just now looking into three things at the moment? Is like reporting, dashboard, and I think self-service BI. Only three things. And I was just checking the SAP website today. Even they basically again divided it to the that one, and they have mainly what they have done is they have introduced SAP HANA in each kind of tool, the BI tool. So is this like a big thing, or is like it's just a normal thing for you guys, and or are you learning at the moment to work with this and HANA, work with the BI tools and HANA?
Yeah, so I'm a bit geeky when it comes to software, so I always look forward to a new release and installing it, and playing with all the new features. One of the benefits of working for a software partner with SAP is you can access the ramp up. So the ramp up's actually just happened. I think it's just been announced yesterday, which means that we're now able to sign up to that ramp up and probably get access to the software within a week. And then start installing it. So yeah, I am excited by that, but that's also tempered by the fact that new versions are always coming out. There's always a new version to look forward to. But I'm also there's some things happening in the SAP landscape at the moment that I'd like to see improve around the integration back to SAP and all the client tools. So I think that's going to take more than just one release to resolve, but that's something that I'm keeping an eye on. And there's always sorry, I'm bouncing the screen up and down. There's always the fact that a lot of customers will always be a couple of releases behind anyway. So even though I'll get to play with 4.1, a lot of our customers won't move on to 4.1 for a while. There's still a lot of customers. I met with a customer 2 weeks ago, and they were still running XI 3.1, which is the previous major version, and they couldn't move to 4 because they couldn't justify the expense to move to 64-bit platform and the amount of hardware they'd have to buy to just have the same performance that they've got running out of 3.1, which is a 32-bit platform. So there's for a customer like that, it doesn't really matter that there's a new 4.1 that's got some new features. They're just trying to get the best benefit and the best performance out of their existing platform and utilize it in innovative ways to continue to deliver value for their business. So that also interests me, in how you can maybe even use versions that are a few versions old, but still being able to deliver that value.
Cool. I'll come to that the hardware and platform thing that you said. It's to go, so they can't basically prove that they can't spend that much and they won't be moving it to that. So I'll come to that. But first thing is that with these old changes, you saw that now there's a new self-service BI. They put it on. It's SAP Lumira Cloud. So before it was called Visual Intelligence, and I believe because with the changing market and all that, so SAP is keeping themselves with all the new things coming up. So and the cloud. So with the Lumira, it's a data visualization tool, and is this more than that? You must have experience. You have experience more than that. You have seen that tool. Might have seen that tool in a real, right now people are using it. So with this changing one, with the changing the visual intelligence to the Lumira, and then to be able to push it to the cloud. Is it like some sort of a computation, or because they're changing so fast, and I mean, have you seen anyone using that tool much in your kind of a customers list?
Yeah, so I haven't seen it being used very much at all. I've met with several customers who I think it would benefit greatly. Even just one customer this week who are only running they're running Business Objects Edge, and because they're on a previous version or license agreement for Business Objects, they don't have access to Visual Intelligence or Lumira now. But hopefully they'll get that very soon. And there was one particular person there who learnt Web Intelligence, and she was an analyst putting together lots of information, and Visual Intelligence would be much better for her particular role. And I actually showed it to her this week, and she was really excited by it and getting access to it. So, but no, I don't actually have any customers I'm working with right now that are using it in anger at all. Mm-hmm. But I definitely see the potential for a tool like that. I think it's a different audience or a different user role who would use Lumira compared to something like Web Intelligence. Web Intelligence or Crystal Reports, it's operational and management reporting. It's kind of bread and butter BI, whereas Lumira is much more suited to an analyst who works with a large data set and interrogates it and does a lot of slicing and dicing. And then the ability to then upload that to the cloud enables them to view web-based analytics based on that data set, so even that are mobile enabled. I'd still like to see it integrated back into the platform better, though, and to see that as continuing to be the single point of contact or the main point of contact, as opposed to this kind of divergence of Lumira, being your data set being put into the Lumira cloud separate to the BI platform. So
that's right. Yeah. So that's why I asked that question. Like, sorry, I'm interrupted you. Sorry. Can you please carry on? Yeah.
I was
that's why I asked that question, because at one point they have everything the whole solution is physically based in office or in a custom location, and suddenly this Lumira comes in and it's talking to cloud, and then you can share it without any app, or you can use, I think that's what they said, you can use HTTP, like when you share it becomes like you click on a link and it comes in iPad, and then you don't need an app for that, like no mobile or Business Object Explorer or BI, so you can click on that and you can share with the people. So as you said, so it might suit people who are like business analysts or people who need some sort of this self BI thing. But again, does it mean like you are separating your data from your customer location or your physical location to move in cloud, and then this is like two locations you're keeping it? Is it like that?
And that's the something you need to be aware of, I guess, when using it, is that all that robust security and authorizations that you have as part of the Business Objects platform, or even in BW, you lose that when you upload something to the cloud that can then be shared via a URL. Right? But what I see SAP in doing, I really don't envy them for the current state of the market and what they're trying to do. So I see that they're continuing to innovate around business objects, which is it's a really large code base that they can't innovate in really rapidly. But then they've got something like HANA and Lumira now, which they can do much more rapid development around, and so they're trying to. I think they're trying to set the stage for the next generation of analytics around HANA and Lumira in the cloud, and then also continue to innovate around business objects. So some things aren't going to be in sync potentially, but they've committed to the ability to add Lumira content into business objects, so into the platform. So I think that will happen. It's just that this is happening earlier because they can release it earlier. Sapphire's happening next week, so I'm sure there's going to be more announcements around that and
definitely
fleshing that out. No one's got access to the Lumira cloud yet. I think you can request access to it, but it's not officially live yet. So I mean, I'm wanting to get my hands on it and play with it. You know, being nerdy, but
yeah, no, that's right. I went to actually the website, and it's usually I try to download. It says SC Lumira, but I'm not sure if that download is just a desktop edition, or it will give me the option to share it, and then it will ask me to. But I couldn't download it. It just keep asking your password, and then it just goes back again to the page. So I
think the next version of Visual Intelligence will be rebranded Lumira. So I think it's version 11, 1011 or something, I think.
Yeah, and
so we're currently on version 10, so yeah.
Yeah, and I tried to update it within the SAP VZ. So I said, okay, last time when I updated from 9 to 10, it just happened. Today, so I just tried a few times, and it just doesn't. It said there's no update. So definitely, I think it's not available at the moment. So now I'm coming back to the situation where you said, you know, the customers are not ready to move to the new. Some customers, with the money problem and everything, you know, like, or with the budget, Tableau public, or I should say Tableau desktop, it's sort of a similar, like, but it's like for maybe $2,000. It does mostly the things that I think a reporting dashboard, analytics. I'm just saying because I read it. I don't have any experience with that, but I compare these two. So, and the good thing is that Tableau, if you're a student like me, they give you 1 year subscription for free, and then I just download it, I install it. So do you think the money, like, you know, SAP is charging so much for their software, or is it just because they have a name in the industry, and other people like Tableau and ClickView, they're offering, I think, for less, but I have seen that if I compare SAP VG with the or Lumira with the Tableau, it has more to do, and Tableau has more things in there to do, and for less price. So
yeah, definitely the Tableau offering is I'd probably call it one of the niche offerings, but that's why it is so strong when it comes to comparing against a tool like Visual Intelligence / Lumira. And the same for ClickView. You know, it meets a very specific business need. It's very good at doing that. So you know, that's also quite similar. But I was actually asked this question yesterday even. The difference I see between the SAPs and the Oracles and the IBMs versus the ClickViews and the Tableaus and Tibcos and that kind of thing is that the SAP and Oracle and IBMs offer a complete enterprise platform that does a lot more than just one particular thing. You know, so if you look at the SAP offering and you buy Business Objects Edge, for instance, you're getting you know, you're getting ad hoc analysis, you're getting operational reporting and printed reporting, financial reporting, you're getting dashboards, you're getting self-service, you're getting the analyst tools like Visual Intelligence as all part of a platform which includes a really robust semantic layer, security, authorizations. The platform's actually capable of a lot more things a lot of people aren't aware of as well. And then there's also the extension into data integration and you know, data governance. All of that as part of one platform, you know, and the Oracle and IBM in to some respects are similar. So I see that as a difference. It means that possibly in one particular area, such as the visual analytics and analysis, like where Tableau and Visual Intelligence play. Tableau might be stronger, but then when you compare it to the overall solution and you look at the benefit for the overall business, I think it's a no-brainer. But then the Tableaus and the ClickViews are selling directly into a department, you know, into a particular line of business, and that's also quite difficult. Is, you know, the traditional sell of business objects is to IT, or maybe to the CFO. But when you can go in and sell Tableau to a sales guy or a sales manager who gives it to his team, then you're short-circuiting that process and you're going straight, you know, avoiding IT, and that's also an issue for the big vendors to have to manage.
That's right. Yeah. No. So as a consultancy company, do you offer these solutions, like, or are you just bounded to the SAP solutions? You just say,
So
we are.
the way my business, yeah, the way my business is set up, or the business that I work for, is that they have a specific line of business that focuses on SAP consultancy. So that's all we do, and we do SAP, ERP, and BW, and business objects, and HANA, and all of that. And then we have another business line that focuses on other BI solutions. So I work quite closely with them from, in terms of generic BI capability, but then they also offer IBM solutions. They offer Oracle, OBIE solutions, and they also offer ClickView, I think. So our business as a whole will provide those, but the line of business that I sit in focuses on SAP.
SAP, okay. Well, that's very good. So just to end with the BI questions, I have more questions. So I hope you have. So you're not. I hope you're enjoying this. Me asking a lot of questions. Are you going to BI in 2013? I see that you're very excited to Amsterdam, which is happening in Amsterdam. So you're very excited.
Yeah, so that's only 4 weeks away. Yeah, and
4 weeks
that's
away.
In Amsterdam.
Yep. And so you got a lot of. Have you got you got sessions in there to be to deliver some sessions there?
Yes, I'm delivering three presentations. The first one is on advanced techniques with crystal reports design. The second one is on universe design best practices and new features in the information design tool in BI4. So all around the semantic layer. And then the third presentation is an introduction to data services and information steward, which is the ETL and data governance platforms from SAP respectively.
All right. And have you worked so far with Design Studio to build like sort of a mobile app, or you said because
I've played with it a little bit, yeah, but not very much, to be honest. Only a little bit. I've hooked it up to HANA and built some charts and stuff and published it, but that's about it.
That's good. There's a BI 2013 happening in September in Singapore as well.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. So, will you be going there too? I mean, because
I might be presenting there as well. That's the agenda's still getting worked out for BI 2013 for Singapore, but I might be presenting.
Can you ask someone to give a free ticket? Just kidding.
Probably not, unfortunately.
No, that's fine. Okay, so coming to HANA, what's your experience with the HANA? I mean, these days people can, like me, we can go to the Amazon Web Services, create a HANA instance, and then start playing with it. So far, what I have learned about HANA is that I just finished up a warm-up course in in-memory data management from Open SAP, and then I have a question about business warehouse after that, which I learned in that course, and so I connect, as you see in my blog, so I connect the HANA to from scratch, like from a business warehouse point of view. I connected the dimensions and the analytic view, but in your point of view, as HANA is moving very fast, and in this kind of era, like whole database, in-memory database era, do you think in the coming years we will be moving totally to the HANA, or is it like from your experience and customers, all that money issues or budget issues, I should say, and the technical issues or restrictions or limitations, are we moving very quickly with the HANA to the new in-memory database implementations?
I think industry is starting to adopt it. It's reasonably slow, and Australia, I know of a handful of implementations of HANA in Australia, so it's not sweeping the nation by any means, but it's starting to move. I think from a technical perspective, I think it's a fantastic solution. I'm really excited by it, and there's so much potential there for customers, but it always comes down to the business case and justifying the investment and building something that's going to deliver business value, not just make your database faster. I think that's the key thing. I've got quite a bit of experience with it now, mainly from an analytics perspective, obviously.
Yep.
With my role, but I've built little data marts in it, loaded data in, built analytic views, and connected all the business objects tools to it. There's some great potential around using the XS engine.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely see a lot of the applications in the SAP portfolio moving towards running on HANA. If you look at HANA, it runs on SUSE Linux,
Yep.
Which is a supported platform for the likes of data services, for business objects, for information steward,
Yep.
all the tools that I use. So I'm expecting that a lot of them, they already can run on HANA as the database platform, but I'm expecting a lot of them to be sidecar implementations, or being able to actually deploy HANA and business objects and data services all in the same system, so that they're nice and close to each other, but they all just use the HANA system, and HANA XS as the web application is also going to, I think, have some great potential.
That's right. Yeah, and I think there's a new course starting from Open SAP called it's like a introduction to software development, where they're going to teach all this about the HANA platform and the development, the XS engine, and then SQL scripts. And there's another for a learner like me, they have given us interface, a HANA trial on demand.com, where I have Eclipse, and then I can connect and use the XS engine to create like all the apps in there. But just a few points, can you explain what HANA can do from a BI point of view? Because I'm interested in BI, so I'm not really into the development and all that. But for some point, you need to learn these things to I don't know, for like making a BI apps. As I've seen in your the presentation that you forwarded me from the Mastering SAP event. So I've seen that there were like few BI apps which can be downloaded from the internet or some vendor, but in some stage, if I'm able to, or somebody else is able to create these apps, so it's good. So from a few words, what are the features that HANA gives to the analytics and BI?
Yep. Okay. So all the data's kept in memory. It's highly compressed, and it's stored in a columnar table or data store, which means that aggregated data and your common dimension and fact interaction that you would normally have in a data warehouse is highly optimized for performance. HANA is also highly optimized for inserting records and also reading records out. So one, you can use it for a BI system that's much more near real time. And especially if you're running Business Suite on HANA, then you're doing your analytics on live data anyway. But even if you're not, you can replicate your data into HANA so quickly that it's almost near real time. It handles very large data sets. We're talking terabytes if you wanted to. And that is compressed as well, so it's normally quite high compression rates.
Yep.
And the performance of it is fantastic. But then beyond that is some of the stuff they've built into the query language is really impressive. So two of the things that I love are the unstructured text analytics. So if you're loading text directly into your tables, you can be parsing that for search terms and interrogating that unstructured text, which is really impressive. And then the second one is the predictive algorithm library, or PAL, predictive algorithm library, which allows you to do a whole heap of apply a whole heap of algorithms directly to the data while you're querying it and returning that. So that's really awesome too. So that's something that I'm going to be learning a lot more about is I've actually just downloaded all the videos from the HANA Academy, and I'm going to be watching them on my iPad while I'm on flights over the next few months, and learning more about that, because that's just awesome that you can do that as part of your query.
I assume that I actually was thinking that you might be already into this thing, because I've seen you talking about the big data on a Twitter and and putting, and also the predictive analytics things. I'll come to the PayPal, but before the business warehouse. So from the HANA that warm-up course, I understood when they said like different scenarios for the transition to the HANA, so different solution for this transition. They basically removed in many options, in three of the 6 options, they removed the business warehouse out of it, and they put the HANA in it. So you reckon, you basically say that business warehouse, unless customers already have it, that the business warehouse may not, if the customer wants a HANA, then there's no point of giving them a business warehouse, and it will be gone.
I don't think so. It's a hotly debated topic on the internet, and there's a lot of passion about BW and about business objects without BW. I recently got a chance to do a podcast series with Ethan Jewett, who's one of the other mentors, and he's got a BW background.
I've seen those.
So that series focused on why you would want to use BW if you didn't have SAP. And it taught me a lot about BW, and there's parts of BW that I'm much more a fan of now that I'm, now being aware of it. Things I like about BW a lot compared to what I have in business objects. I guess there's a couple of scenarios. If you run SAP ERP, I think BW is part of the license. You can just turn it on, and you have a whole heap of standard business content,
BI content
that you can deploy. So the BI content. So if you run financials, you run HR, you run inventory, you run plant maintenance in your SAP system, all of that has a large amount of BI content, standard business content, cubes and queries that you can deploy, and it's almost as easy as clicking a box and saying go, and it deploys all this standard content. So it's like a pre-built data warehouse, and it's very extensive, and I don't think you can quite easily dismiss that. It's very useful for a business that's just deploying SAP. So in that scenario, I think you would always use BW. If you didn't have SAP and you had business objects and you're running some other ERP system, I think you'd be hard pressed to find a reason why you should use BW. And there are other tools in the SAP portfolio that complement or similar, such as Sybase IQ. That is their non-SAP enterprise data warehouse solution. Or non-SAP ERP. But what BW does give you is a really robust platform for deploying an enterprise data warehouse, which includes a whole heap of functionality that you'd have to build yourself if you went down the route of IQ or building it in HANA. Things like slowly changing dimensions and currency conversion and lots of things like that they're all part of the platform, and that you just turn them on, and they're really difficult to build, and not difficult to build, but difficult to maintain a standard around them in an enterprise data warehouse. Defining a standard and then maintaining it, I think is quite challenging, and the implementation of that as the years roll on in your data warehouse, and you have different ETL developers and different managers. But whereas BW forces you to use it in a very specific way, and you have to, but there's a lot of benefit in things like that, in the currency conversion, in the slow changing dimensions, and in the way it uses info providers and cubes versus the actual info objects that kind of metadata definition.
Yep, makes sense. I have very limited experience with business warehouse, but the experience that I earned, that's the experience basically which made me to think about BI side, because I totally just thought, oh man, this is great. I mean, this is so fun, creating and the queen for cubes and having a result at the end. So and that's why I asked this question, with the HANA coming in just, and also mastering when I was there at SITMEL, the SAP Track Inside thing, and that was a good opportunity that they gave to the students. Normally you don't get that. So the guys were talking about BWs going away, and now I think one of the guy was Mark from Oxygen. He said that BW is going away, so we better start get training in the HANA. So from that also I kept always in my mind that and then also now after studying this, then I just found that maybe that's why they were saying, because they might have gone to training of HANA, or they have seen these videos and they said, oh, not Business Warehouse is going. But after you explain this to me, and I have seen videos from Ethan and you, and it can do much more. It can be a very good data warehouse if you know what you're doing with that. So this is a HANA and Business Warehouse. With the PAL, with the predictive analytics, is this like I try to watch it, but truly speaking, with my experience, I did not get it. So when I say I did not get it, which means that I couldn't figure out, is this because the video, when it says getting started with HANA predictive analytics, it starts with some sort of a video that, but it's not really a getting started video. It's straight away they say use this, use that. I just started it, and then is it like a sort of a they're showing you all the business analysts? You need to know all this stuff before you call those libraries or functions?
Yeah, I definitely think you need to understand a bit about what is actually doing for you, what functions you're applying, and what data you're expecting to get back, and then how you can then leverage that. I mean, I haven't actually used the Power libraries in HANA, but I have used a predictive analytics tool, which is the expanded version of Visual Intelligence, which connects to R, which is calling very similar functions. You still got all your regressions, you've got your clustering, you've got your association algorithms, but I still struggled initially around using it. You can kind of step through and follow what someone's done, but then actually understanding why you would do this and how much you can trust the data and that kind of stuff. So I actually came across a great link someone posted on Twitter, which is it's linked to a book that was written by some psychology professor, and they do a lot of statistics in psychology, and he'd written a book about using R and learning R, and actually I'm still working my way through it, but that's been a really great resource to learn the basics of statistics, which I'm happy to share with you as well if you're interested in reading it. And that's that's been really good as well. So
I've seen one of the link that you tweeted, the correlation analysis. I read about it, and then I found it a new thing about it, analytics, like all this predictive analysis. But I'm jumping too fast, I believe. I still need to learn a few things, and what I'm trying to learn here is how to use these tools from a business point of view, and that's why I thought maybe talking to a professional can only be the professional can tell me how you can use this in a business point of view, rather than just download it, install it, use it, and then say, oh yeah, I know this tool. No. So from a business point of view, how we use this? Yep.
Yeah. So, most of the customers I've worked with don't have the basics right yet, truthfully. So they don't have really great reporting and just management reporting and operational reporting. They don't have that sorted. And so I'm really interested in predictive analytics and when I talk to some customers, I can see the data that I'm already working with and I can see how much potential there is.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get the business sponsorship to implement a predictive solution if they can't even get their reporting sorted.
Sorry.
And just provide a basic self-service capability to the business. So I still think there's a lot of work to do around that for consultants and for customers and organizations just to get better at managing their information.
That's correct.
Reporting it, and providing capability to their end users. So, yeah.
Now, and I think that's why I asked a question to you and Tammy the other day on Twitter, I think a month ago, that do you need to understand your data before you ask questions or before you're writing a report? Because it happened in a professional life with me, and then something is asked to write. Somebody has asked me to write a report in a Crystal report, and then I don't know what that data does. So pulling at that data, in the same way, because those people don't have basics right of what a report can do or what we need to pull out. So I'm happy if you share with the link that you have for predictive analytics. I think I have mostly all the questions answered, and now I'm feeling that I come to know a bit more about SAP BI, and the last thing is now how you. I've got a selling skills as well now. With all talking about that and the products. With this business objects, and HANA coming together, do you recommend to a learner like me to learn everything, or just look for the future BI stuff?
That's a hard question.
It is.
But,
it is because
I think. Sorry,
I can't answer myself. I don't know, because
I really think. I think you'd be crazy not to be learning HANA, because it, in the SAP world, it's going to take over everything. But how quickly does that happen? I still think you'd be,
few years.
betting safe by learning some of the business objects tools as well as they stand. Something like Web Intelligence and Crystal Reports is really widely used, especially Crystal. For a long time they OEM'd it into everything, and it was part of Visual Studio. So a lot of even small, medium-sized enterprises, they all run Crystal Reports as their reporting platform. So I think learning Crystal and Web Intelligence is a great place to start, but looking towards the future by learning HANA as well. And there's a lot of opportunity with something like HANA now for the startup market. So if you know a particular industry really, really well, and you can design something that runs on HANA that's cloud-based, you build a front end to it in XS, and you offer a very specific solution, it could be revolutionary for a particular industry. I think that the opportunity is there to do that as well. So hopefully there's so much more that you could also learn, and I think you need to constrain it back to HANA as a platform is really important to learn, but also continuing to look at some of the tools that customers are using right now, and that's making sure that you'll be able to put something on your CV that is usable immediately, but also something that's attractive to employers about, you've upskilled in HANA, and so there's some kind of future proof in terms of you being a potential employee.
Cool. That's very good. I knew that you're gonna say web intelligence and crystal reports because a lot of people I met even in the BO devs meetup, they were talking just crystal reports and web intelligence. So I noticed that, and I just went in online as well, and I just try to look at, yes, people use mostly crystal reports, and they're talking about web intelligence. Even Tammy, when they're tweeting, and the other people they're just talking of a Webby. So I think that's the short form for that. And yeah, so hopefully I will. Sorry, no, last question. Sorry, I just forgot. I just keep saying last. I think it's not going to end.
No, it's okay.
The Edge edition that I installed on my virtual environment at the moment is working. So, but I went to the official tutorials of a BI platform, and it talks, okay, how to create a universe and everything, the things. But they are talking about the business, connecting it to business warehouse. So with the Edge edition, I think you can only connect it to the Excel or data source.
No. So I don't know I don't know where you've gotten the Edge version from, but when you buy Edge, it will connect to any data source, SAP or non-SAP. Yeah, and you use the business object semantic layer to do that. So you'll need to install client tools and build a universe, and then that will connect to like SQL Server or Oracle or DB2 or HANA or Hadoop or.
Yep,
yeah,
makes sense. Okay. Yeah, that's very nice of you, Josh. I really appreciate that you connected to me. You basically talked to me, and you answered so many questions of me, and I feeling clear all in my mind, and I just can move forward, in what I'm learning and what I'm doing these days. And if just a last request, if I have any other queries, can we do this again, or can I ask you?
I'd be happy to do it again.
Yeah, sure.
You can always hit me up on Twitter as well.
As usual, can you just please keep sharing whatever you have, whatever you're learning, to the people like me, and so that we can also learn these things, and we just don't go blank to the people, say we know this stuff. No, as far as I know, I think I'm curious, and I want to know this stuff, but I can't really justify myself that I know this stuff, because I have to prepare hard and then say, yeah, this is what I know. So just please keep sharing what you have, what you learn, and that will be really thankful to you. Thank you very much.
Yep, not a problem. Thanks, Angad.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
You too.